y'all. That or she playing him. Haley, aka Val, pretending to be in love with Bill. Kat doesn't want Tomas to trust Bill to become him. He doesn't want to give up what he worked so hard for. Lynette may be Haley's downfall. Danny can tell that something's up with Anita. And the last thing is that Anita hasn't told anybody that she may have cancer. But hey, y'all, welcome back to another review of Life of Chester for Beyond the Gates, December 16, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. What y'all think? Did y'all like the episode? Look here, it's getting interesting. Look, they bringing in new people and stuff. They done brought in Lynette. I said, look here, don't delay it. They supposed to be exposing this girl. They supposed to be exposing this girl. They want to bring new people to the doggone scenario. But yeah, what did y'all think of the episode? So we're going to start with first. I guess we're going to start there with Lynette, Haley, a.k.a. Val. So apparently, Haley's name is Val. Is that short for Valerie or what? But yeah, her name is Val. Lynette is her friend. They used to run cons together and stuff like that. And she still was trying to make it seem like she wasn't trying to con Bill. She's in love with him and stuff like that. And Lynette she was like, oh, you deserve this and you deserve that. I want to know why they start running cons together. That's going to tell it all. Because I feel like Lynette going to be her downfall. I've been expecting Danny to catch on and stuff like that. But it might be Lynette that exposed her. It might be Lynette. I don't know. Didn't they show on the trailer for this week, on the promo for this week, didn't they show Lynette, Randy, and Haley talking together? Didn't they? I said, I'm assuming they're going to join forces together. Hold on. But yeah, I feel like Lynette going to end up being the ones who expose everything. I don't know. We shall see. Then, another thing. Why did they show Bill staring at the doggone cup like he was figuring out that Haley was, doing something to his drink if he's still running around acting like everything's sweet, everything fine and dandy? He's still talking about going on vacation with the girl. Now, she just tried to murder you and you looking at the doggone mug like something's up. I wouldn't go nowhere with her. I said, maybe he investigating her. I don't know. He running around having Andre follow and stuff. He need to be having Haley follow, especially if you think that she doing something to your drink. Because they showed the scene where he was staring at the mug and everything. So we assume, okay, he catching on. He figuring it out. He ain't been talking to his... What was the dude name? The one that's supposed to be investigating Andre. Where did he go? But yeah, I'm like, dude, they need to go on and wrap this Haley storyline up. Now they done brought in another freaking person. They done brought in somebody else. I'm like, come on now. There's one storyline that needs to be over with. Then there's another one. Vernon running around, sneaking around and stuff. And now Anita lying too, because she ain't tell nobody that she may have cancer. Hold on. But yeah, Lynette and Haley was just talking. Like I said, she was pretending like she in love with Bill, and they was talking about the good old days and running cons and everything. And she trying to convince Haley that she didn't do what she being accused of. Maybe that's her karma for cunning all these people and stuff like that. And she was just saying she wasn't guilty. And Bill want Haley to work with Tomas or whatever, basically to spy on him and see how everything go and everything. I said, hold on. Was this something else that Lynette and them was talking about? I already said Haley was pretending like she's changed or whatever, and she in love with Bill. We talked about that. I don't know. I was expecting somebody to walk in on them, see them sitting down and stuff like that. I said, these people, they don't... First of all, like I keep saying, nobody want to have no cameras. Nobody want to have these folks followed or anything like that. I said, what's the purpose? Like, come on now. This one storyline, like I said, need to be over with. Haley need to get caught. She need to get caught slipping. Bill and Tomas. So they were still... And, oh, I know what I was going to say with Bill and Tomas. I didn't write it down. But he told Tomas to go take Kat on a date or something like that because their work-life balance, basically, it ain't going to be the same. How you talking about you want to make somebody partner that's married or engaged or with one person and all this stuff, but then they ain't even going to be spending time together and stuff? I said, make that make sense. Make that make sense. I don't think I explained it right, but y'all get it. Y'all get it. How you over here trying to talk about, you talk about how you want a partner, you want to get somebody who, they settle down and all this stuff, but they ain't even going to be at the house. What difference it make? How does that even determine if they're going to be a good... That don't matter. Whether you have kids or a wife or a husband or whatever, that don't determine if you're going to be a good... I mean, it can, in a sense. It can or whatever, but not always. Not always. But yeah, he was saying something about that Pauline lady again. I said, how you keep mentioning... Why you keep mentioning her? Either you going to get him partner or you not. To my Pauline would do this and that because he was like, he hasn't worked on no criminal cases or anything like that. He usually worked the civil cases. He's like, well, Pauline, this. He's like, well, I give it a try or whatever and all this stuff. So he's so desperate for that doggone partnership. That's what he want to be a partner so doggone bad. But yeah, then Cat, I was like, Cat, you can't make him. If he don't work hard, why would he give that up? Why would he give that up? Tell my son, I said, then you don't even want to move in with him, but you want him to settle and not go after his goals. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. But yeah, I think the last conversation with Bill and Tomas had was about him going to take Cat on a date and everything. I said, anything Bill tell him to do. He tell him to jump. He said, how high? He said, high. But yeah, that's what happened with them. Cat and Chelsea, she's still talking about the Tomas situation, how she confided in Martin as well as Danny. And Chelsea basically said her mama ain't no good example. She running around shooting up the place and stuff. I said, you know what? You're right. She an example of what not to do. She an example of what not to do. And she still want him. It don't matter how many times she said she in love and her and Andre talking about how in love they is, she still won't Bill. Sending doggone marshmallows and stuff. You still ain't, you in love with Bill? I mean, you in love with Andre, but you ain't told him that you and your ex-husband don't kiss twice. You ain't told that, did you? I said, y'all need to stop lying to each other and to yourselves. Y'all need to stop lying to yourselves. Hold on. Talking about you so in love. Every time you see them, they kissing and they just so happy and you want to root for them or whatever because she do look happy, but looks can be deceiving and that's a deceitful look right there. That wasn't what I was trying to say, but it just came out like that. But yeah, that's like they trying to manipulate us. You can't manipulate us. We see what it is. We know you still. And Andre see it too. Haley was trying to tell Andre he in here over here in La La Land and stuff, but he just as crazy about Ashley. He can't stay out her face. Every time he go to the hospital, he claim he there to see his Uncle Ted, but next thing you know, he in her face. He got to go save her. Matter of fact, didn't he say, wasn't he saving Danny too? Let me find out he want to be Jason over here off of General Hospital, want to save everybody named Mama. But yeah, over here. Let me see what else. Did we finish with Cat and Chelsea? I don't think so. I talked about how she was talking about moving in and stuff like that, and her reasoning why she don't want to move in with him. She needs to stick to what she said. Don't let your family convince you to move in with this man. Don't do it, especially since, like, you feel what you feel for him. He clearly feels something for you. I don't know exactly what all it is, but I could tell you one thing he feel. He know that that's going to help his promotion. He know it's going to help his promotion because Bill keeps saying it. He keeps saying it. But yeah, other than that, I say he like her a little bit. Not that much, but trying to convince her. I said, don't you listen to these folks trying to convince you to move in and stuff like that. I said, But yeah, I think that's when Tomas came. And I think Chelsea got a text and she tried to leave. I was wondering what she was doing, crawling on the floor and hiding and stuff. She was looking for a Christmas gift. I thought, look, I didn't know what was going on. She over here hiding and stuff. They like they was taking their clothes off and stuff. And she was like, she not going to find her Christmas gift. At the end of the episode, Danny ended up telling Chelsea and Andre she knows something's off with her mama. She could tell something's up. She going to trust her intuition and it's telling her something's up. Now, yesterday when I watched that episode, look, the way they film Anita getting that, that biopsy or whatever, I was like, look, I like the way they did that. I like the way they showed that. I was expecting somebody to show up and support her or something like that. Maybe just come to the hospital and see her or something. But she ain't tell nobody. They got a spoiler that said this week that the articulates comfort Anita, so I'm assuming that she's going to tell them. I said, telling everybody, now they do have a right to know it, whatever, but you ain't going to tell your folks. So you ain't going to tell, what if you do? Do y'all think they going to actually make it so she have cancer? But yeah, Chelsea got up to leave because she got a text message. That's when, look, Kat was trying to avoid having a conversation with Tomas. So he ends up telling her about how Bill say that he gonna work on the Lynette case. He ain't said the name or whatever. How he gonna work on his first criminal case and stuff like that. She was happy. She was partially happy. But then she started saying negative stuff. And he was like, why do you always want to bring up negativity and stuff like that? I said, y'all need to break up. You gonna go through your ups and downs and stuff like that. But y'all done too much. Then you got Vanessa and Joy. We're going to talk about them next. They too emotional. Kat and Tomas need to break up. Vanessa and Joy might as well end whatever you want to call this. They call it love, then they call it something else. One day he upset, next day she's upset. She walking out on him, then he walking out on her. I said, they an emotional couple, ain't they? I said, they too emotional. What the world? But yeah, Kat and Tomas They started talking and stuff because he feel like she being too negative. She trying to convince him that maybe he could go be like Naomi. I said, y'all, the priests be wanting things to go y'all way. You can't tell this man that. You can't, he ain't finna leave. The only reason, I ain't gonna say the only reason he with you in the first place is because Bill telling him that he can make partner. I mean, you want him to lead the thing that's keeping y'all together? Just, girl. But yeah, she just was like, long story short, she don't want him to be like Bill or become him. She was mentioning how he cheated on her auntie and just all this extra stuff. I was waiting on her to say the part about him, because you could be a cheater and still be good at your job. you could be a cheater or deadbeat and still be good at your job. But yeah, hold on. Not to say that that's somebody you should be looking up to or anything. He talking about, didn't he say he wanted to be Bill? Is that what he said? He's like, growing up, just saying how he went through so much. He was poor. He didn't have this. He didn't have that. He looked up to Bill. He wanted to be Bill because of everything he has. And he was trying to tell her that, same thing I just said, that you could be, lousy, but you still could be good at your job and stuff. He's like, you expect me to give up, what I worked so hard for? I said, exactly. She be wanting stuff her way. She definitely do. She want, like I said, she want him to give up the thing that's keeping them together. Bill just told him the other episode that basically he'll make partner if he committed to Kat. And that's when he started talking about moving in together. And you want him to lead the thing that's keeping y'all together? But yeah, I was like, they don't know. They just should have been broke up, if we're being honest. It don't matter if you knew the girl growing up. The fact that he went slept with her should be enough of a reason for you to leave this man alone. But you was full on blaming Eva instead of blaming him as well, because he know exactly what he doing. He knew in that hotel room just like he knew then. And people making excuses for this man. But yeah, what else? Let's see. This bunny keep coming off. Let me see. Next, Vanessa and Joy. They are emotional too. Look, at first I wrote down bipolar, but then I was like, okay, I don't want nobody to be offended by that, because I know some people really are bipolar and stuff. Is moody the same thing? Would that be better? Would that be a better word? I don't know. I'm going to just say moody or emotional. I'm going to say emotional. They both emotional. Last episode we seen, he walked out on her because she over here she want him to commit and stuff. I said, what was she expecting? She want to get married? I said, I can't tell. She just foolish over this man, or she trying to play him. Because first I was thinking Randy was playing him. Now I'm not sure who playing who. I'm not sure who playing who. Aside from Haley playing Bill. Hold on. But yeah, I was like, I don't know anymore, y'all. But they, like I said, one episode, she walking out, storming out, stuff like that. He'll chase behind her. Next episode, wait, I think I said that wrong. 1 minute, she storming out, he chasing behind her. Well, actually, don't she usually be the one come back to him after she done stormed off? I think he did come to her at the country club when he kissed her and stuff. But other than that, she usually the one come back. But yeah, she done came to his casino or whatever. And they talking about the same thing. Committing and stuff like that. What else? He was saying how he doesn't want Vanessa to regret anything about them. And she over here like she don't care nothing about what they got to say. She don't care what her kids got to say. They just gonna have to get over it. So we been over. Me and my husband been over. Me and Doug been over. If he hadn't died or whatever, I was gonna leave him either way it go. I was gonna leave him either way it go for you. I've never felt this before and all that. She just crying and stuff. I said, every time we see her, she crying. I said, look, Anna Devane out General Hospital. I said, Anna went, now I don't remember from back in the day. Not way back in the day, when she first was on the show, because obviously I don't think I was born then. I wasn't born then, actually. But I was like, ever since I've been watching, she went from being the spy and everything. Every time we see her, she crying stuff. Remember that episode, if y'all watch General Hospital, remember that episode where they first introduced Sidwell, or Sidwell first had got Anna and them? And Anna and Jason was in the room, and she over here crying and stuff, instead of putting her and Jason's head together to figure out how to get out of there. Then they end up kissing. I said, what the world going on? What type of spy are you? But yeah, I was like, emotional, just like her. That's who Vanessa is. Crying and stuff. Just study talking about being together, and she don't care nothing about what people got to say. She don't care what her kids got to say. They got to know or whatever. It was over before Doug even died. I was going to leave him. That's why I was hooking up with all these escorts and all this other stuff. And I was like, girl, please. I said, I would hope that she knew or caught on or something. Otherwise, she going to be heartbroken when she realized that this man is the one responsible. And I'm still waiting on, I don't understand why they got video footage, why Joey has video footage of Doug and Malone, because Malone was right there too. Remember when they showed Doug getting up and Malone was right there, but somehow he wasn't in the video? Why they don't got video of Haley and them in that same casino and stuff? Why is that not? Why hasn't he seen that? What's going on? The cameras don't work no more? But yeah, they whole conversation was about Doug and her failed marriage and how she ain't never felt that way, and he talking about so how he love her, he gonna look after her. I don't know if that's what he said, but that's what I got from it. Oh, he was just saying he love her too or something. I don't know. But yeah, she said even if Doug hadn't died, she would have left Doug for him. Excuse me. And he was saying, the kids need to mourn Doug. She over here trying to be wifey already. I was like, you can't. And if he ain't dead, then you can't. Can they do that? Would the marriage be valid? Because I'm expecting Doug to come back. Now, I don't know if he actually is or not, but I'm expecting him to come back. They ain't show his body or nothing. But maybe they just ain't, got that far in the soap opera yet. I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely expecting him to pop up one episode and be like, oh, we knew it. But I don't know yet. But yeah, they seen wasn't nothing about the same thing. She just want everybody, the whole doggone world, to know that she over here sleeping with the enemy, and she been sleeping with the enemy because she was gonna end things with Doug either way it go. That's what she said. That's what she said, ain't it? But yeah, what else? Andre, Danny, what was they talking about? I think they was talking about Christmas cards and stuff like that. That's when they went over to the house with Anita and Vernon. Anita didn't tell Vernon what was going on. He could tell that she was zoned out, but he don't know what's going on still. She didn't tell Danny. Danny could tell something was up. She was asking her, was everything okay? She tried to change the subject, but she kept making them little comments about if something. She told Danny she want her to promise that if something happens to her, that she'll look after Vernon, that she'll look after her daddy or whatever. And she agrees, and she was like, what's going on? And before they got ready to go, her and Andre, she was looking at her because she made another comment about, what would I do without you, or life is short or something, she said. Look, y'all, I'll be paying attention. But I don't be paying attention. If it ain't nothing that, I'll be like, oh. Like yesterday, I was paying attention to the Anita scene. I was paying attention to when it was revealed that Haley's name is Val or whatever, or she know her as Val. I was paying attention then. But other than that, all the other stuff, no. I be zoning out. But yeah, before she got ready to go, she looked over there, and when she was talking to Chelsea and Andre, she asked Chelsea if she could tell if anything was going on with her grandma. And she's like, no, why? She's like, her intuition basically is telling her that something's off. But they don't say nothing this week about her telling nobody, aside from that spoiler about the articulates supporting her. So I'm assuming she gonna tell them. But yeah, yesterday I was definitely expecting somebody to come in or somebody to come to the hospital. I was even expecting not Haley, what's the other psychopath name? Leslie. I was expecting her to come to the hospital or see her at the hospital or something like that. But nobody, so far. But yeah, I think the last thing is Bill and Haley. I think he was just telling her how Tomas gonna work on Lynette's case, and he want her to work with him and basically spy on him or whatever. And I was like, okay, now Bill. So what is it? Did you hear her when you was passed out? Did you hear what she said? Do you really think something going on with that tea? Like they just dropped it like it was nothing. We haven't seen nothing else, or he ain't made no comment or nothing like that about it. I said, dog, man, we thinking it's gonna be over, and they done brought somebody else in. They done brought this Lynette lady up in here. But yeah, what else? I think that was all. What else happened yesterday? It was something else I wanted to talk about that happened yesterday. Let me scan these notes right fast and see. Hold on, y'all. Let's see. Well, actually, I didn't even take no notes yesterday. I just watched the episode. Nope, no notes. I know I talked about Anita possibly having cancer. Talked about Haley partner in crime. But I can't remember. I think it was one more thing that I wanted to talk to y'all about. Well, it's gone now. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the night.